What if I told you there was once a German truck you could drive without a license and load like a mule, despite it having just one front wheel and 7 horsepower? Ladies and gentlemen, and my friend Timmy, today we're taking a ride back to a time when Germany thought, who needs 4 wheels when you can have 3 and a good set of nerves? I'm talking about the Tempo E200, a vehicle so minimal it made minimalism look over-engineered. Before we get rolling into the madness, don't forget to subscribe to Cool Ideas, the only channel where vintage vehicles and dumb decisions go hand in hand. Hit that bell like Timmy hits the brakes, too late and with 0 effect. Now, buckle up. Or in the E200's case, just sit down and hope the wind does not knock you over. The Tempo E200, built between 1936 and 1937 by Vidal and Sohn Tempo Work in Hamburg-Harburg, was Germany's answer to a question no one asked. Can a lawnmower legally carry 600 kilograms of bricks down a cobblestone road with no license? And the answer was a roaring, chain-rattling, yeah! See, thanks to a clever tax loophole from 1928, any motor vehicle under 200c with fewer than 4 wheels could avoid taxes and did not require a driver's license. Naturally, this led to the invention of the packissel, literally the pack donkey. And oh boy, the E200 earned that title fair and square. It came equipped with a water-cooled single-cylinder 2-stroke ILO engine, displacing 197 to 198 cc, pumping out a wild 7 horsepower, 5.2 kilowatts. And I use wild the same way I'd describe my uncle's tortoise. Top speed, around 40 kilometers per hour or 25 miles per hour, which is technically faster than Timmy on roller skates, but only downhill. With a tailwind, and if he forgets, he's wearing sandals. The 3-speed manual transmission sent power to the front wheel via a closed chain drive. Yep, the entire front end, including the wheel, engine and gearbox, rotated together as one unit. Imagine turning your steering wheel and the whole engine swivels with it, like if your fridge turned every time you opened the door. As for suspension, it had a single coil spring up front and a swing axle in the rear with volute springs. Rear mechanical drum brakes only, because front brakes were for cowards, apparently. The E200 officially claimed a load capacity of 600 kilograms, 1,320 pounds. But let's be honest, German builders back then loaded these things like piñatas at a bricklayer's birthday party. Timmy once rented one to help a friend move a few chairs, and somehow ended up towing half a garden shed, a bathtub, and a confused goat. The goat was the only one who looked like he knew what he was doing. And let's talk design. The central tube frame, the louvered hood, the suicide doors, yeah, they opened backwards because nothing screams safety like your door flying open in traffic. Oh, and it had trafficators on the B-pillars. Those were little arms that popped out to signal a turn. There were 2 main versions of the Tempo E200, the box van and the flatbed pickup. One looked like a bread loaf with a grudge, the other like a motorized wheelbarrow with ambition. The van version, or Kastenwagen if you want to impress your German neighbor, had solid panel sides, a full metal roof, and was basically the 1930s version of Amazon Prime, eventually. The flatbed model, Pritschenwagen, had fold-down side panels and a rear tailgate, so you could stack bricks, barrels, or whatever your cousin Gunther swore was definitely legal cargo. You wanted practicality? This thing had more flaps than a politician in a scandal. And wipers. Oh, those were optional. Yep, no motor, just hope. If it rained, you reached for a rag and pretended you were in the Navy. Or do what Timmy once did, tape his sock to a stick and wave it furiously from the driver's seat. It didn't help, but it entertained everyone at the intersection. You know who loved these? Craftsmen, bricklayers, delivery guys, people who needed cheap wheels without the government's sticky fingers. And since you could drive it without a license, even Bob next door could handle one, though he'd probably repaint it in camouflage and call it his mobile bunker for when the toaster rebellion begins. And the price? Back in the day, it cost about 1,500 Reichsmarks, which today translates to roughly $14,000. At modern auctions, one of these oddballs, a 1937 model, sold for $9,351 on Bring a Trailer in 2024. Whether that's a smart buy or a desperate midlife project really depends on whether your mechanic charges by the hour or by the emotional trauma. But hey, before we end, let's give the little guy some credit. For all its rattles and limitations, the Tempo E200 had charm. It found a legal loophole and drove right through it. It was clever, hard-working, and way ahead of its time in making transport accessible. Sure, it looked like something Timmy might have built out of frustration and plumbing parts, but it did its job. And did it with style. Big thanks to our amazing sponsors. You're the coil spring to our pendulum axle. See you next time. And remember, if your neighbor tries to sell you a Tempo E200 as sporty, walk away slowly. Or call Bob. He's got theories.